The emergency lights bathed the Galactic Council chamber in pulsing crimson. Elder Tejo gripped the speaking podium with his four-fingered hands, voice trembling as he addressed the assembled representatives. The Valkyr fleet has made unauthorized first contact with Terra, he announced. They expected simple conquest. They were mistaken. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Counselor Jaiwu, representative of the Ancient Worlds Coalition, rose from her seat. Terra? The Forbidden World? The same, Tejo confirmed grimly. Our archives have marked it approach with extreme caution for 900 cycles. Holographic displays activated, showing the Valkyr ship's descent to the blue-green planet. The footage abruptly cut as surface-to-air defenses engaged the landing craft. The humans responded with shocking coordination, Tejo continued. The Valkyr commander requests immediate assistance. Ambassador Dohayan, who had studied distant worlds for centuries, stepped forward. The humans are unlike any species we've encountered. They evolved as prey animals that became apex predators through intelligence alone. Their entire history is warfare, adaptation, and unlikely survival. The Council voted unanimously to dispatch an emergency diplomatic vessel to Terra before full-scale war erupted. The emergency meeting ended, but Elder Tejo remained in the now-empty chamber. He accessed the secure archives through his neural implant, reviewing the first reports of Terra from 3,000 cycles ago. The scout ship had observed the planet from a distance, noting the strange bipedal creatures who used fire and crude tools. Back then, the humans had barely mastered basic agriculture. A soft chime announced Dohayan's return. You look troubled, Elder, she said. I was there when we first discovered them, Tejo admitted. I voted to leave them alone. Not out of mercy, but fear. Dohayan nodded. Your instincts were correct. In just 3,000 cycles, they've gone from stone tools to nuclear weapons. No other species has evolved so quickly. The ship logs from the Valkyr fleet continued to stream in. Tejo brought up a tactical display showing the humans' counterattack. It was brutal, efficient, and demonstrated weapons technology that should have been beyond their capabilities. Look at this, Tejo pointed to one recording. They're using directed energy weapons. How is that possible? I believe they reverse-engineered technology from a lost scout ship, Dohayan said. Records show we lost contact with the Sunfire probe near Terra about 80 cycles ago. Tejo's four fingers tapped nervously on the console. If they could understand our technology from a damaged scout ship, what else have they learned? The diplomatic vessel was prepared for immediate departure. Captain Suho, a veteran of 17 first contact missions, accepted the assignment with clear reluctance. My team will depart within the hour, Suho told the council leaders. But I must know, what are our objectives beyond preventing war? Assess their capabilities, Elder Tejo said. Determine how much they know about the wider galaxy. And most importantly, establish whether humans can be safely integrated into the galactic community. Captain Suho's expression darkened. And if they cannot? The question hung in the air. Counselor Jaiwu finally broke the silence. Let us hope it doesn't come to that. As the diplomatic team boarded their vessel, Tejo received an urgent message from the intelligence division. He opened it privately, his pupils dilating in shock at the contents. We must abort the mission, he announced suddenly. What? Why? Dohayan demanded. New data from our deep space monitoring stations. The humans have launched ships of their own design. They're not just defending their world, they're venturing into the stars. Captain Soho studied the data with growing concern. These designs, they're unlike anything in our databases. They've created their own path to the stars, not copied ours. How is this possible? Jaiwu whispered. No species develops space travel independently after contact. Because they haven't simply copied our technology, Dohayan realized. They've understood the principles and created their own versions. Perhaps even improved versions. A new alert sounded throughout the chamber. The Valkyr fleet had engaged in a full attack on human military installations, abandoning all pretense of peaceful contact. Within minutes, reports showed 3 Valkyr cruisers had been destroyed. "We're too late," Tato said quietly. "The war has begun." The diplomatic mission now transformed into a rescue operation. Captain Suho's ship would attempt to extract the surviving Valkyr forces before the humans annihilated them completely. As Suho's ship departed, Elder Taho turned to Dohayan. "In all my 500 cycles of life, I have never felt such dread." "Because you understand what the others haven't realized yet," Dohayan replied. "This isn't about saving the Valkyr from the humans." Taho nodded slowly. "It's about saving the galaxy from humanity." Colonel Gina Park watched the alien ships burning in the Nevada desert, her tactical tablet displaying defense positions across 6 continents. "They expected us to panic," she told General Miho. "Their technology is advanced, but their tactics are predictable. They've never faced an enemy that improvises." Within hours of the Valkyr landing, Earth's militaries had coordinated a global response. What the aliens saw as primitive weaponry was deployed with devastating precision. When the Council's diplomatic vessel arrived in orbit, broadcasting peace signals, Gina was selected to join the human delegation. "We've been listening to your transmissions for decades," she informed the stunned Council representatives. "We recovered one of your scout ships in 2037. Ambassador Dohayan's eyes widened. "Impossible. You couldn't possibly understand our technology." Gina smiled. "We didn't just understand it. We improved it." The Nevada sun beat down mercilessly as Colonel Gina walked among the smoking ruins of the alien vessels. The air smelled of burning metal and strange chemicals. Technicians in hazmat suits carefully extracted components from the least damaged ship. "Careful with that," she called out as a team approached what appeared to be the craft's power core. "We need it intact." General Miho joined her, wiping sweat from his brow. "Washington is pleased. Beijing too. For once, all Earth stands united." "Nothing brings people together like an alien invasion," Gina replied. Their comms buzzed with an incoming priority message. The satellite feed showed a new vessel entering Earth orbit, larger than the attack ships but with different markings. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," the communications officer reported. "They claim to be a diplomatic mission from something called the Galactic Council." Miho frowned. "Another trick?" "I don't think so," Gina said, studying the ship design. "This matches the descriptions from the files we decoded from the crash site. If I'm right, these aren't the same species that attacked us." The United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session. As the military officer who had coordinated the defense of 3 continents, Gina found herself appointed to the Earth delegation. "Remember," the Secretary General told her before she boarded the shuttle, "we need to appear strong but not hostile. The future of humanity depends on this meeting." The Council ship was enormous inside, with curving corridors that seemed designed to disorient visitors. Gina noted the atmospheric adjustments they made for the human delegation, subtle but telling. "They know more about us than they're admitting," she thought. The alien representatives waited in a chamber with a large circular table. Gina immediately identified Ambassador Dohayan as the senior diplomat based on the deference others showed him. His skin had a faint blue tint, and his 4-fingered hands moved gracefully as he spoke. "We extend sincere apologies for the Valkyr incursion," Dohayan said through a translation device. "They acted without council authorization." "Yet you knew of our existence," Gina replied. "You've been observing us." Dohayan's expression shifted, surprise, Gina thought, though alien facial expressions were hard to read. "We maintain distance from developing worlds," he said carefully. Gina placed a small device on the table. It projected holographic images of alien text, communications they had intercepted and decoded. "We've been listening to your transmissions for decades," she informed the stunned Council representatives. "And we recovered one of your scout ships in 2037. Ambassador Dohayan's eyes widened. "Impossible. You couldn't possibly understand our technology." Gina smiled. "We didn't just understand it. We improved it." She activated another device. A small drone rose from her palm, floating to the center of the room. It projected a three-dimensional map of local space, highlighting certain star systems. We identified these as council worlds based on communication patterns, she explained. And these as Valkyr territory. The alien representatives exchanged glances. One whispered urgently to Dohyan. How much do you know? Dohyan asked finally. Enough to defend ourselves, Gina replied. Not enough to trust you. The shuttle ride back to Earth was tense. The council had requested time to confer among themselves. Gina used the opportunity to study the ship's design more carefully, noting details that might be useful. What do you think they'll do? Asked another delegate. They've lost the element of surprise, Gina said. They know we're more advanced than they expected. They'll either offer true diplomatic relations or what? Or decide we're too dangerous to exist. When they landed, General Miho was waiting with new intelligence. We've detected unusual activity at the edge of our solar system. Multiple ships gathering. Gina nodded grimly. They're preparing contingencies. Get me secure comms to all command centers. Back in her office at Strategic Command, Gina activated Project Prometheus. Across the globe, hidden facilities powered up advanced weapons systems, technology adapted from the crashed scout ship but fundamentally redesigned by human engineers. If they come in peace, they'll find us reasonable, she told her staff. If they come for war. She looked at the satellite images of the alien fleet gathering beyond Pluto's orbit. They'll find us ready. The Grand Chamber of Justice on Nexus Station hummed with tension as Supreme Arbiter Hyunjin called the proceedings to order. The Valkyr Empire stands accused of violating the Prime Directive of non-interference, she announced. Further, we recognize the human delegation's right to speak. The Valkyr representative, Commander Sun Woo, snarled. These creatures are barely civilized. They still wage war among themselves. Colonel Gina presented Earth's case calmly. We adapted to your weapons in hours. We decoded your languages in days. We reverse-engineered your scout ship in years. And now, she paused, activating a holographic display, we've developed our own faster-than-light drive. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Impossible. Sun Woo shouted. No species has developed FTL independently in 10,000 years. Arbiter Hyunjin studied the human delegation with newfound concern. The humans are not what we believe them to be. The human delegation stood out among the varied alien species in the Grand Chamber. Gina wore her formal military uniform, adorned with the new United Earth insignia. Beside her stood Dr. Jiho, Earth's leading physicist, and Ambassador Hannah, a skilled diplomat chosen for her calm demeanor. The chamber itself was massive, carved from what appeared to be a single piece of crystal. The walls shifted colors with the mood of the proceedings, currently a tense orange-red. Hundreds of species watched from tiered seating. Commander Sun Woo of the Valkyr continued his attack. These humans destroyed 3 of our cruisers. They are dangerous and unpredictable. Your cruisers were bombing our cities, Gina replied evenly. We responded to an unprovoked attack. Arbiter Hyunjin raised a 6-fingered hand for silence. Her species, the Aram, were known for their perfect neutrality in council matters. The Valkyr violation is not in question. The invasion of Terra was unauthorized. What concerns this chamber now is the human response and the future relationship between humanity and the galactic community. Ambassador Dohyan stepped forward. If I may, Arbiter. Our preliminary assessment suggests that humans have advanced at an unprecedented rate. They are now a spacefaring civilization whether we recognize them or not. Commander Sun Woo's scales darkened with anger. They should be contained. Their world quarantined. Dr. Jiho spoke for the first time. His voice was soft but carried throughout the chamber. Too late for that. He activated a small device. A holographic display appeared, showing a 3-dimensional model of a drive system unlike anything the Council had seen before. It combined principles from various galactic technologies but with uniquely human innovations. This is our prototype FTL drive, Jiho explained. It's already been successfully tested. Range, 30 light-years. And this is just the first generation. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. Arbiter Hyunjin had to sound a sonic chime to restore order. Impossible! Commander Sunwoo shouted. No species has developed FTL independently in 10,000 years. We didn't do it independently, Gina clarified. We had help from your crashed scout ship. But we didn't copy your design. We understood the principles and created something new. Elder Taeho, who had been watching silently, now approached the central platform. May I ask a question of the human delegation? Hyunjin nodded permission. Colonel Gina, if the Council voted to isolate Earth, to prevent humans from joining galactic society, what would your response be? The chamber fell silent. The question was direct, almost a threat. Gina met his four-eyed gaze steadily. We would be disappointed. We would continue to develop on our own. And eventually, we would meet again, but as equals rather than as supplicants. You see? Sunwoo hissed. Defiance. They cannot be trusted. Elder Taeho ignored him. And if we welcomed you? Offered full integration into the Council? We would accept partnership, not subjugation, Ambassador Hannah interjected. Earth would maintain its sovereignty while gladly joining a community of worlds. The proceedings continued for hours. Various council members questioned the humans about their technology, their social structures, their military capabilities. Gina noted how carefully they probed for weaknesses. During a recess, Ambassador Dohyun approached the human delegation privately. You should know, he said quietly, there are factions within the council who fear what humans represent. The Valkyr are not alone in their concerns. Why tell us this? Gina asked. Because in my 5 centuries of life, I have never seen a species with your potential. It would be a tragedy if fear led to conflict. When the chamber reconvened, Arbiter Hyunjin announced a ruling. The council finds the Valkyr Empire guilty of violating the Prime Directive. Reparations will be paid to Earth. Furthermore, Earth is hereby recognized as a sovereign world with rights to join the galactic community. Commander Sunwoo stormed from the chamber. Several other species followed. That doesn't look good, Dr. Jiho muttered. No, Gina agreed. They're planning something. As they prepared to return to Earth, Gina received a message from Strategic Command. Earth's long-range sensors had detected unusual movements in the Valkyr fleet. They were repositioning, gathering reinforcements. We have to assume they'll attack again, she told her team. But this time, they'll come in force. Arbiter Hyunjin approached as they were boarding their ship. Colonel Gina, a word of warning. The Council's decision is binding, but enforcement is complicated. Be vigilant. Gina nodded. We always are. As their ship departed Nexus Station, the humans gazed out at the vast array of alien vessels. Some were clearly military, others purely scientific or diplomatic. So many different worlds, Ambassador Hannah said. So much to learn. And so many potential threats, Gina added. We need to be ready for whatever comes next. The negotiation chamber aboard Nexus Station had been designed for comfort across 17 different physiologies, yet the humans seemed the most at ease. Standard integration would require human worlds to accept Council oversight for 200 cycles, explained Elder Taeho. Diplomat Ki-hyun, Earth's lead negotiator, shook his head. Unacceptable. We propose a mutual defense treaty instead, with immediate recognition of Terra's sovereignty. Gina, now serving as military attaché, noticed the subtle signals passing between the Valkyr and 3 minor council species. Their translator devices showed unusual encryption patterns. Later, in her quarters, she decoded their communications. They're planning something, she told Ki-hyun. The Valkyr aren't accepting defeat. Meanwhile, representatives from the EOS Collective and Proxima Confederacy approached Earth's delegation privately, offering separate alliance terms. The galactic balance was shifting. The air in the negotiation chamber tasted faintly of cinnamon, an attempt by the environmental systems to create an atmosphere pleasing to humans. Diplomat Ki-hyun sat straight-backed at the curved table, flanked by Colonel Gina and Science Advisor Ji-ho. Across from them, 6 different alien species represented the Galactic Council's Integration Committee. Elder Taeho's translator hummed softly as he spoke. "We understand your desire for independence, but all new species must undergo a transition period. 200 cycles is already shorter than our standard protocol. 200 of your cycles equals nearly 300 Earth years," Ki-hyun replied. "No human government would agree to foreign oversight for that long." The Valkyr representative, a junior diplomat named Woo Jin, made a dismissive gesture. "This proves our point. Humans are too impatient, too aggressive for full council membership." Gina studied the aliens carefully. While the main discussion continued, she noticed Woojin's translator device blinking in an unusual pattern. Similar lights flickered on devices worn by representatives from the Maran Hegemony, the Tola Republic, and the Senti Union, all minor powers allied with the Valkyr. "We need a brief recess," she whispered to Ki-hyun, who nodded and made the request. In the private chamber assigned to the Earth delegation, Gina activated a signal jammer. "Their translators aren't just translating," she explained. "They're sending coded messages." "Can you break the code?" Ji-ho asked. "Given time, yes." Gina connected her tablet to a small device she had secretly brought aboard. This contains pattern recognition algorithms based on the scout ship's communication systems. While Ki-hyun prepared for the next round of negotiations, Gina worked on decoding the signals. Hours later, in her quarters, the algorithm finally succeeded. "They're planning something," she told Ki-hyun when he visited her room. "The Valkyr aren't accepting defeat." She displayed the decoded messages. The Valkyr were coordinating with their allies to stall negotiations while their fleet regrouped. They had also planted agents on Earth to gather intelligence on human defenses. "We need to warn home," Ki-hyun said grimly. "I already sent an encrypted burst transmission," Gina replied. "But we have another problem. Look at this." She showed him surveillance footage of Ambassador Yubin from the EOS collective approaching their quarters. "The EOS want to speak with us privately," she explained. "And they're not the only ones." The next morning, they met with Yubin in a secure location. The EOS were an ancient species, known for their technological achievements and general neutrality in council politics. "The Valkyr invasion of your world has changed things," Yubin explained, her crystalline skin reflecting the room's light. "Your response has changed things even more." "What do you mean?" Ki-hyun asked. "For 10,000 cycles, the Council has operated under the assumption that newer species require guidance, control, really. Your world has demonstrated this may not be true." Later that day, representatives from the Proxima Confederacy made a similar approach. Their diplomat, a multilimbed being named Tae-hee, was more direct. "The Valkyr and their allies plan to attack your world again," she said. "We can offer military support in exchange for access to your FTL drive designs." Gina shared these developments with their team. "The galactic balance is shifting," she observed. "Multiple factions are trying to use Earth as leverage." "We should play them against each other," suggested Ji-ho. "No," Ki-hyun decided. "We need allies, not temporary advantages. But we must choose carefully." When negotiations resumed, Ki-hyun surprised the Council with a new proposal. Earth will join the galactic community under these terms: immediate sovereignty, observer status for 5 Earth years, then full membership with voting rights. Elder Taeho's expression showed surprise. "That is unprecedented." "So is Earth," Ki-hyun replied. "We also propose an open technology exchange program, voluntary participation by any council member." The chamber erupted in whispered conversations. Gina noticed the EOS and Proxima representatives signaling their interest, while the Valkyr allies huddled in obvious concern. That evening, as Gina was reviewing security protocols, her sensors detected an unauthorized entry attempt at their quarters. She silently activated defenses and waited. The door slid open, revealing a Valkyr operative. I wouldn't take another step, Gina said calmly, her weapon aimed at the intruder. The Valkyr froze. You were supposed to be in the diplomatic reception. I don't like parties, Gina replied. Now, you're going to tell me exactly what the Valkyr are planning. Hours later, with the operative secured, Gina briefed Ki-hyun on what she had learned. They've accelerated their timeline, she said. The attack will come within days, not weeks. And they have allies we didn't know about. Ki-hyun nodded grimly. Then we need to finalize our own alliances quickly. He looked at the star chart displaying potential allied worlds. The galaxy is about to change forever. The Valkyr attack came at dawn, Earth time. Their warships emerged from hyperspace with weapons charged only to find Earth's orbital defense grid waiting. Did they really think we wouldn't prepare? Gina asked, watching from the command center beneath Mount Fuji as human fighters engaged the alien vessels. The battle lasted less than an hour. What the Valkyr didn't expect was the intervention of the EOS and Proxima fleets alongside Earth's defenders. 6 months later, the signing of the Terran Accords restructured the Galactic Council. Humanity's concepts of representative democracy and term limits replaced the old order of permanent species hierarchies. Ambassador Gina stood on the observation deck of Earth's first diplomatic starship, the ESS Horizon, as it prepared to depart for the galactic core. Elder Taeho, now serving as liaison to Terra, joined her. You know, he said quietly, when I first studied your species, I predicted you would either destroy yourselves or change the galaxy forever. Gina smiled as the stars began to blur outside the viewport. Who says we can't do both? The morning sky over Earth lit up with bursts of energy as the Valkyr warships emerged from hyperspace. 50 ships strong, they formed a battle line and began their approach toward the blue planet. Deep beneath Mount Fuji, Colonel Gina stood in Earth's Unified Defense Command. Screens covered the walls, showing the positions of both enemy and friendly forces. All defense platforms online, reported General Miho. Planetary shield at full power. Did they really think we wouldn't prepare? Gina asked, watching as human fighters rose to meet the alien vessels. The pilots operated craft that blended human design with reverse-engineered alien technology. The Valkyr commander opened a communication channel. His scaled face appeared on the main screen. Surrender now, humans. The Council cannot save you. Gina's reply was calm. We don't need saving. But you might. She gave the signal. Earth's orbital defense grid powered up. Hundreds of satellites that had appeared dormant suddenly revealed weapon systems. The Valkyr ships fired first, energy beams striking Earth's newly developed shield system. The shield flickered but held. Return fire, ordered Miho. The human response was devastating. Fighter craft deployed advanced missiles while the orbital platforms fired energy weapons that cut through Valkyr shields. Sir, called a technician, new ships entering the system. For a moment, Gina feared reinforcements for the enemy. Then she recognized the distinctive designs of the EOS Collective and the Proxima Confederacy. Both fleets moved to support Earth's defenders. The Valkyr commander's face showed shock. Impossible. The Council isn't here, Gina finished. But our allies are. The battle lasted less than an hour. Caught between three forces, the Valkyr fleet was quickly destroyed or forced to surrender. The remaining ships retreated in disarray. When it was over, Gina received a message from Ambassador Yubin of the EOS. It seems our alliance was well-timed, the alien diplomat said. For both of us, Gina agreed. News of the failed attack spread quickly throughout the galaxy. The Valkyr Empire's defeat by a supposedly primitive species, with help from two major powers, shifted the balance of galactic politics overnight. 2 weeks later, Gina found herself in the Grand Council chamber on Nexus Station. The chamber was more crowded than ever before, with representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered to witness history. Elder Taeho addressed the assembly. For 10,000 cycles, the Council has operated under fixed hierarchies. The oldest civilizations have held permanent positions of authority. Today, we recognize this system must change. The new document, the Terran Accords, introduced concepts alien to council governance, representative democracy, term limits, and equal voting rights regardless of a civilization's age. Earth has shown us that new perspectives bring strength, Tejo continued. Age does not always equal wisdom. Many older species protested, but the alliance between Earth, Eos, and Proxima, now joined by dozens of younger civilizations, formed an unbeatable voting bloc. 6 months after the battle, the changes were well underway. The Valkyr had been stripped of their council seat. Several minor powers had gained representation for the first time. Gina, now promoted to ambassador, stood on the observation deck of Earth's first purpose-built diplomatic starship, the ESS Horizon. The vessel combined human creativity with Eos technology and Proxima material science. It was the fastest ship in known space. Their mission, a goodwill tour of 50 worlds, beginning with the galactic core. Earth was making its presence known. Elder Tejo, now serving as liaison to Terra, joined her on the deck. His once skeptical attitude toward humans had transformed into genuine respect. You know, he said quietly, when I first studied your species, I predicted you would either destroy yourselves or change the galaxy forever. Gina smiled as the stars began to blur outside the viewport, the new hybrid drive engaging. Who says we can't do both? The ship accelerated past lightspeed, carrying humanity's representatives toward their new place in the cosmos. Behind them, Earth prepared to welcome its first non-human visitors, students, diplomats, and scientists eager to learn from the species that had changed everything. In the deepest chamber of the Valkyr homeworld, the survivors of the failed attack plotted revenge. But they were watched, both by human intelligence agents and by their former allies, who had no desire to face Earth's wrath again. The galaxy would never be the same. As diplomat Kihyun had predicted in his address to the United Nations, we have joined the stars not as servants or students, but as equals. The universe is vast, but humanity's potential is vaster still. The end.